Hello again, YouTube. It's another day, another rainy day. Unfortunately, we're stuck inside because it's raining. I had to cover our shed with one of the tarps. Started to complete a little bit more of the work on there, but nothing's going to happen today probably until the rain stops. The next few stages that I have to do, I have a few more brackets to put on. I've got the fascia board 2x4s that I have on this side. I have to install those on the other side, and I'm going to be running some electrical items inside, and I may try to get that done since it's covered if it's dry inside. But I wanted to kind of update some people on a couple more of the stages of things that I kind of draw out. I think everybody, when they're making a project, should draw it out before they actually try to build it. This is what I'm going to call stage 5. This is the framing of the 5 walls and what I envisioned it to be before I actually put them up, and it turned out to be pretty much dead on. I put another board in other than what you see on the diagram, but that is pretty much it. The next one here, which will be a little more entertaining, is my cartoonish kind of outline for stage 6, which is all of my plumbing, from coming in from the well, going through the pump, all of the different shutoffs, the couplers, the different sizes of the PVCs, how I wanted it to get reduced down, how I wanted it to go into the hose bib futures, into the 2 filters, into the house, through the softener, everything. I drew it all out before I even started to work on it, and played with the idea a little bit, purchased all the items, laid them all out on the floor in my living room a few times to kind of get a feel for how much distance or how much space it was going to take up, because I have only a 4x8 section that I wanted to try and get it all to fit into, which, as you've seen from my previous videos, it turned out great. But this is how it all started. It was just from a drawing that I had and an idea. The next one is I drew a grid pattern for my roof, and this is just one half of the roof, and I made little pieces of paper showing the different sizes of board, so I can try and guesstimate how many boards it would take to cover the space and which ways I would have to cut them to get them to work for the way I want. Because my roof is not just 16 by 16, which would have been easier, since I'm adding 1 foot on each side for on the gable ladders, the extensions over each of the roof, it adds 2 feet, but when you add a foot, when everything else is 16 on center, it actually messes up your measurements. So I'm trying to calculate just roughly how many boards it would take, or how many sheets of sheeting it would take to cover each side of the roof, so that I would purchase the correct amount. And I have figured that the number that's going to take is roughly going to be 6 boards for each side, and that's with as little loss of material as possible. And now I know that with a lot of the videos that I've seen, it says that you shouldn't put a board across one span of trusses. You should always go 2 or more spans of trusses. That's why you see some are 2x4 sections, 2 foot by 4 foot sections, but it's only 2 foot high, but it is going to span 4 spaces across. So I'm not going to be keeping any of the boards shorter than that required amount for the flexing and everything else. I want everything to be as supportive and as strong as possible. And also with all of the sheeting, when I do install it, it's actually going to all be screwed down. I'm not going to nail the sheeting down. I wanted to screw it down from the get-go just to make everything stronger and make sure with any winds and everything else it's going to stick around for a long time. I'm over building everything here to make sure that it does last. But since I'm on a rain delay today, I figured I'd share these new schematics or diagrams or whatever you want to call them. Just some drawing ideas that I made up before I actually started the work. And that's, like I said, always the best thing to do before you just go out and buy a bunch of wood and try to put it together and make it work. Draw it out. It may be wonderful in your head, but once you see it on paper, it may look kind of silly and stupid, and you may want to change things. And you can change it and erase it on paper, but not here. Hopefully this helps. Talk to you later.